Now, you guys, this is a family that is literally better off dead.
Wow.
But they are going to be thankful that this TV show came into their lives.
That's right.
1, 2, 3, poverty!
In the late 2000s, Extreme Makeover Home Edition lived up to its name.
All these people came here to give back to you guys. And what's behind that bus is exactly what they've given you.
As a closet, it's actually a jail cell.
With its larger-than-life renovations and novel solution to stopping poverty once and for all.
We're gonna destroy your home, Monster Jam style.
Let's drop a truck on it!
However, right in the middle of the show's winning streak, cracks began to form. What at first to these people felt like a dream come true, quickly devolved into an absolute nightmare.
Don't lock it!
There was times when our power was cut off. We were locking the doors, and as I go up to one of the doors, there's a man standing there with a hammer.
Between all the foreclosures, horror stories coming out in recent years, and houses held together with staples and tape.
Emotionally distressed about all of that, you know, the bills and like how we were gonna make it month to month.
It's a wonder that this show is on its second reboot and still making people madder than ever.
What do you say? Would you guys like to see what's behind this bus?
Yes.
Yeah?
You
You guys want to see what's behind the bus?
But those who were paying attention knew it was doomed from the start. Long before Extreme Makeover was destroying any houses, they were known for destroying human bodies. It's 2001 and shows like American Idol and The Swan are becoming worldwide hits, simply for taking ordinary people, putting them in front of a camera, and changing their lives forever. Producer Howard Schultz has a similar idea, but without any competition involved. 1 year later, Extreme Makeover makes its first television debut.
How far would you go for the perfect look? These three people will go under the knife for a killer bod, reshape their teeth for a beautiful smile, and get Botox shots for the final payoff.
The concept? Find unattractive people with tragic backstories, cut them off from their families, put them through 6 weeks of brutal surgeries, dental work, and exercise routines, then drop them back into their lives with an entirely new face.
How's your breasts?
They're awesome.
Then, the big reveal. With some big reactions. Everyone says it's vintage Schultz. Original, risky, and highly controversial. The same formula that made all the hits at MTV and Fox.
I'm 21 and I'm an artistic, fun-loving gay man. I work as an instructional assistant for autistic kids, so compassion is very close to my heart.
Needless to say, it's an instant hit. However, the premise is controversial to say the least.
I see the people at crime scenes that are deceased, and I look at myself and I think, oh my God, some of these people look better than I do.
From looking dead to a living doll.
Some may even say insensitive at times.
Well, I know the intimate part of our relationship is hard for Chris.
I can't make it up the hill.
I look like I had Down syndrome. Down syndrome.
Fans of the show argue it's changing a lot of people's lives for the better, but critics disagree. In theory, Extreme Makeover does good, but for the most part, the show glorifies and sometimes trivializes the notion that plastic surgery is the solution to all appearance-related problems. It doesn't take long for things to go downhill. Some participants report experiencing physical and emotional trauma. For example, a woman named Elise is selected to be on the show. And when they interview her family in private, the producers allegedly pressure them into saying cruel things about her looks on camera. Delise overhears everything, but all that stuff's gonna be fixed in a few weeks' time, so who really cares? One problem. Producers end up canceling her makeover last minute. Soon the word gets out, and people are outraged. Everything starts to fall apart, and ABC tries to bury the show, with all of it almost becoming lost media. They even decide to get rid of Howard, but not his precious formula. Despite all the bad press, the format's appeal is undeniable. Simply turn large-scale life transformations into weekly bite-sized episodes. In 2003, they introduced the world to Extreme Makeover Home Edition. Because when you think about it, poverty is just like being ugly. Families in dire situations? Check.
We are here this week really to fulfill a dying guy's last wish, you know?
Tear-jerking backstories? Check. Changing people's lives? Oh yeah. Each episode follows the same structure. Introduce the family members.
This house is literally making me sick. It makes me sicker every day.
Send them off on an exotic vacation. Destroy their home while they watch from afar.
The house didn't have any chance against that truck.
Then, with the help of their entire community, build them a bigger, better, custom home in just 1 week, catered to their personal tastes. Finally, they come home to the big reveal. And to tie it all together,
I'm Ty Pennington.
host
Ty Pennington.
Ty Pennington Previously known as the charismatic carpenter on the TLC show Trading Spaces.
Well, I think we ought to all just grease up before we do any of this work. Just make sure we're nice and lubricated before we do any work. It's the best way to do anything.
While it's originally supposed to be a 13-episode miniseries, soon the word gets out, and millions of viewers start to tune in every Sunday to watch Ty run around neighborhoods, megaphone in hand, screaming.
Good morning! Good morning! Good morning, Rachel. Thank you! What a lucky morning!
I'll get to that. The show is TV magic.
I mean, you saw the daughter. She's really worried she's going to lose her mom because if they stay in that house, that's a possibility. But we can change that.
Suddenly, with nothing but a change of packaging, they go from being the most controversial to the most heartwarming reality show of the decade.
Yeah, there are plenty of shows that I was not real proud of out there, and reality television in general is not thought of as, you know, a genre that's really going to advance any positive agendas, really.
If he only knew.
But when this show came on the air, and I remember seeing it as a viewer and just thinking, wow, now that, you know, that is the correct use of the medium.
By the show's third season, it's winning Emmy Awards. Viewership is around 15 to 16 million per episode, and Ty becomes a mainstream celebrity.
Ty Spies, Ty Tech, Ty's Team, Ty's Rules, Ty Echo, Ty Talks, but there's no Ty Time.
Well, that's a good question. When I do come home, you know, I do get to, like, just be me, you know what I mean?
On the surface, it looks like Ty and his team of homemakers are on course to take over the world. It feels like nothing could go wrong. For many of these families that get new houses, after the bus drives away and the crowd goes back home, the reality sets in.
Her sons were still young when their home was transformed into a wonderland. Today, they are pitching in to salvage what they can before the final eviction.
Working with the producers on the show was a little intense.
It didn't seem like the producers really cared about how we felt.
It doesn't take long for people to start questioning the show's real motives.
Extreme Home Makeover, I know how it works. What? That show is just a bunch of manipulation to get people to cry. And then they trick the viewers into buying shit. Buying? What are you talking about? Yes. That show is about how awesome Sears is. And how much Sears products save people's lives. It's about caring for Sears.
All this is available at Sears. This is available at Sears, everything?
Absolutely, yeah.
And this, I want that. That's available at Sears?
Nice. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Pointing out the more over-the-top aspects of the show. For one, a lot of these design choices, questionable at best. Taking one person's interest or aspect of their personality and going on to base their entire room, sometimes the entire house, on that one thing.
She loves tea. So, we built them a house that looks like a giant teacup.
While that skit may be comedic, it's far from an exaggeration. For instance, this kid says he likes cup stacking.
What's the idea behind this?
You stack as fast as you can.
You stack the cups as fast as you can.
Yes.
It's the first time I've ever witnessed anything like this in my life.
You stack them up and you bring them back down.
Yes.
Now, most people would hear that and think, cool. But this is Extreme Makeover.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
I love it.
Pretty cool, huh? You got your bed made out of cups, right? One of the coolest things, check this out right here. Cup blinds.
Oh, wow.
What if tomorrow this kid says, you know what? Baseball looks kind of fun. It sucks my room is made of cups. They do this kind of thing a lot.
All right, I see your pull-up bar. You're athletic, okay. You're athletic, okay. This is a rope climbing machine. All you gotta do is pull that on. Wow. It starts going. Go ahead and give it a try. Go ahead, man. All right, I see your pull-up bar. You're athletic, okay. Oh, there you go.
How long does it go for?
Forever. What do you think?
Their lack of planning ahead doesn't stop indoors. They're giving these families go-kart tracks, movie theaters, sprawling resort-style pools. Suddenly, families who were struggling financially to begin with start to see their utility bills skyrocket.
I could imagine their electric bill would probably triple, especially if these families were given pools or jacuzzis or specialty items.
The problems don't end there. Some of the finished buildings are more like stage sets, as though they're meant to be temporary. A foundation needs at least 2 weeks to cure before being built on. Yet in the show, they manage to tear down and rebuild an entire house in 7 days. This leads to structural failures, mold, leaks, and collapsing floors. A former crew member admits that the drywall was cracking even before they left. Some renovations are even reportedly held together with staples and tape, requiring weeks of repairs post-show. On top of all that, Ty Pennington isn't even a real handyman.
What does OSB stand for?
Okay. Great question.
The wood. You know, the plywood-like thing. Oh, boy.
Obviously saturated board.
Oriented strand board.
Right, oriented strand board.
Now, normally they'd have to take extra precautions for these things. However, thanks to a legal loophole, these are all technically classified as renovations. One of the homeowners who asks Extreme Makeover to fix everything is told, "You got this for free. Fix it yourself." Scammers come from all sides when they hear the words free house. The show does a pretty good job vetting them out in the application process. However, a couple slip through.
Extreme Makeover, we desperately need your help.
desperately.
On the surface, Rhonda and James Friday sound like saints and perfect subjects for an episode of Home Makeover. They run their own nonprofit and are struggling to get by with 7 kids, 5 of which are adopted.
The 5 adopted children who were biological siblings even changed their last name to Friday.
However, after they secure a 9-bedroom mansion, a storefront for their nonprofit, and thousands of dollars worth of Sears gift cards, things take a sudden turn.
Threw us all out.
Chris says he was sent to a group home because of a bad attitude a few months after recording the show. Kamaya says she was sent to a different group home a few months later, and within a year, they say all 5 adopted children were gone from the house.
What they did to us was just wrong. My brother and sister's 5 years old. How can they get in that much trouble where you have to kick them out?
She used the gift cards for herself.
It was supposed to be nonprofit store. She was supposed to put things inside the store, but it was used for her use.
Chris says Devonda drove a minivan before the show.
She started driving a Mercedes-Benz?
Yes, sir.
After the show?
Yes, sir.
The Fridays still live in the house. In fact, these property records show that its value has more than doubled since the home makeover.
She's backing away.
Devonda Friday stopped her Mercedes in the middle of the street when she saw us outside her house, then drove the other way.
Fast forward to 2010, these so-called transformation shows are going out of style. And not just that, the entire home improvement genre is on the decline, while other shows like Hoarders and Hoarders adjacent shows are taking their place on top. You could say it's out with the in with the out. ABC moves the show to the dreaded Friday night time slot, and in 2012, they pull the plug. However, Extreme Makeover lives on. In fact, in that same year, it boldly goes where no Extreme Makeover has gone before. Pointing a camera at an obese person and telling them to run.
Go! Push, 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 push! Get the car rolling! Don't let the car stop. Just keep it rolling.
This is the freaking car me and my husband wanted to buy. Oh my God.
And it all starts with him.
It goes about as well as one would expect.
I think you like it. I think you like getting the beat out of you. I think you like being the victim. No. This is what you like. You like getting punched in the face, don't you?
I had so many light bulb moments. The biggest thing that I remember is, when Heidi's hit me in the face, and I just kept thinking, I deserve it.
If you watch weight loss shows such as Obese and Biggest Loser, Extreme Makeover, Weight Loss Edition, there's a certain stigma that comes with morbid obesity. The first of which is that we're so much more physically unhealthy than we should be, in that think twice when you're supporting shows like that.
It pretty much follows in the footsteps of its predecessors. Original, risky, highly controversial, but in this case a lot of viewers note a new addition to the pattern. They bring these people on promising to change their lives, but never seem to get to the root of the problem. You're telling me you didn't lose the weight? Even after we built you an entire home gym, fitted with state-of-the-art equipment and furnishing provided by Sears? Well, then there's nothing we can do.
To me, that was bullcrap.
Why not plant a seed of hope, a seed of belief in her, send her home?
Because it's
and
fake.
If anything, there might be a chance.
Focusing on quicker results to get a moment on camera, rather than benefits that'll last a lifetime, ends up ruining a lot of its potential to do actual good.
And reality television in general is not thought of as, a genre that's really going to advance any positive agendas, really.
If Extreme Makeover were more like a charity, and building normal houses that people could actually live in, it wouldn't be a very popular show at all. Which brings us to 2020, a year that will no doubt go down in history as the pinnacle of the reboot. All your favorite franchises from the past coming back more modern than ever. And in Extreme Makeover Home Edition's case, more modern family than ever. It ends after only 10 episodes, mostly because it premieres in February 2020. And in that year, there wasn't much of anything involving crowds of people. This show is a lot different. It's on HGTV instead of ABC. The budget is lower. The build times are longer. The rooms aren't hideous. And aside from the name, there just isn't much in common with the original show, especially with Ty Pennington being absent. They just can't keep up with what those gambling companies are offering. Nobody can.
Bring out the anniversary slot machine.
Good morning, Virginia! Are you looking for a new way to play Cash 5? Because it just got some major upgrades, including a daily growing jackpot.
I don't think there's any point in doing a reboot unless you're going to rethink it a little bit. Obviously, I am the host now, so that alone is very different.
While all these changes make the show less exploitative, the resulting experience is just kind of boring. The internet's consensus that you can't have a transformation show be both helpful and entertaining carries on into 2024, when suddenly, ABC announces another reboot.
The show is back on the road.
But this time, they're back in charge, rolling back on a few of the precautions, keeping some of them, and turning up the product placement to the max. Some people say the show's going in the right direction. They aren't knocking down old houses, they're building new homes in what look to be new construction neighborhoods. Hopefully this is so the families can sell their old homes and have money to pay for the taxes, etc. The houses also seem way more practical. They aren't ginormous, they aren't putting crazy things in them like indoor basketball courts and slides, etc. Others aren't so optimistic and point out that this is what made the other show appealing. Some of these people seem like they don't even need to be on the show. The new reboot of Extreme Makeover is pissing me off to no end. There's been 6 episodes so far, and 4 of them were nice-ass homes. The people are just hoarders. There's already a show for that. You don't deserve a mansion because you're too lazy to clean. While the show is still going, it seems clear to many that charity and reality TV are things that are probably best kept apart. But let me know what you think.